Hello, hello. Happy Friday and good afternoon. It is Taylor Reilly here from Greenroots. I'm so excited to be joining you today. And I want to thank you for your grace and understanding for me to reschedule our time today. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm a little under the weather. And my throat yesterday was not at its best. So I know I'm usually in here live on Thursdays, but I wanted to rest up so I could serve you best. And I'm really excited to dive in with you today. Something that I know keeps so many people stuck. It's something that I have helped countless clients work through. And it's something that I still hear all the time on the phone, that I hear from you guys in the group, that I'm getting emails about. So I really wanted to come in here and tackle this conversation, especially around the holiday seasons. And that is, I'll do better tomorrow. Right? Sound familiar? So, welcome today. We're going to jump right in. We're going to understand exactly how we get stuck in that I'll do better tomorrow trap and exactly what we need to do to pull ourselves out of it so we can move forward confidently, efficiently, effectively to reach our goals, no matter whether they're about our health, our weight loss, getting back down into non diabetic levels, or your goals in general. Everything that we're going to be talking about today is going to benefit you in a major way so you never find yourself stuck in that place of, oh, tomorrow. So let's jump right in. Great. And here we are. So, one of the biggest things, like I was saying, is many people, they're diagnosed whether they are in a pre diabetic state or whether they are type 2 diabetic or whether they have just been steadily gaining weight and other metrics are starting to, come back in a really negative way, whether it's cholesterol, blood pressure. One of the things I hear is, I feel like I know what I should do, and yet I can't seem to get into action. And if I do get into action, it never really sticks. And at the end of the day, I just say to myself, well, tomorrow will be different, right? Tomorrow I'll do better. Who's been there, right? All of us. And for those of you who are tuning in live, it's great to see you. Feel free, to comment, leave your questions, your distinctions, anything that's resonating with you in the comments here. I can see them real time. And for anybody who is tuning in later, feel free to share as well. And I'm happy to come back and serve you. So, how many times have found yourself waking up, your blood sugars are in the 200s, 300s, you're already starting that day and that frustration of like, oh, I'm on the medications, I'm trying to watch what I eat, I'm trying to be active, but I'm so dang tired in the afternoon, right? And you start the day with that fear, and then we're like, okay, I'm going to do everything today. I'm going to do all the things, right? And then what happens, right? We get to work, and we're stressed out, or maybe, our partner says something, or we're in an argument, or we're taking care of a sick kid or a sick parent, right? And the stress starts to happen. And the fatigue starts to kick in, and then we just go whoop sideways, right? And we find ourselves, stopping at the Chick-fil-A, or, grabbing our third, fourth, fifth, sixth cookie, or reaching into the chips and just numbing out in it. And the conversation just kind of stops, right? And what I hear all the time is it's like this kind of immediate feeling of relief, followed by this horrible, horrible shame, right? And what does that story sound like for you? What are you doing? You should know better. Your numbers are crazy. You don't want to lose a leg like your dad, or gosh, they're going to put you on insulin. What am I doing? And we start to have this spiral, right? And then we start negotiating, right? Well, I'm having these now, but, you know, later on, I'm going to have a salad with dinner and it's fine. So just a couple of more, right? We start to minimize and we start to soften. And then we're laying in bed at night at the end of the day and we're playing out the day and we're having a hard time sleeping and we're experiencing pain. And maybe we've run to the bathroom for the third time that night. And then we start worrying about our kidneys, right? We start worrying about our heart health. All of the reality of diabetes starts to set in, right? Just how scary it is, just how much you've been struggling, how you've seen it affect the other people you care about, how you know it's affecting your vision, your concentration, how it's making you fight with your partner because they just don't get it. And you feel like you're in this alone. And day in and day out, you're putting on this brave face. And what do we say? Tomorrow I'll do better. Right? And I just want to say, with all the love in my heart, we are here in non judgmental observation, right? We're not here to judge. We're not here to shame. God knows you're doing that plenty to yourself already. That is not going to help anything. That is not going to help anything. But I want to bring it into your awareness because if this sounds like you are not alone. I've been there. All of my successful clients who have lost 30, 40, 50, 100 plus pounds, gotten back down into non diabetic range, gotten their energy back, gotten off their meds, all of them started there too. And I wanted to share with you today what you can do to shake yourself out of that cycle so you can really start to prioritize your health and yourself with the urgency that I know that you know is there. Right? So the first thing that I really have found really holds people in that I'll do better tomorrow trap is a real lack of clarity on the severity of their situation. Okay. So oftentimes we normalize our chronic pain. It's just part of getting older. It's not so bad compared to Susan at my church, who's already in the wheelchair from her amputation from her diabetes, or I'm not as heavy as Tom across the street, right? We find all of these ways to normalize our chronic pain, whether it's physical, right? Oh, the neuropathy is not that bad. I just have to shake my hands out for like 10 minutes under hot water in the morning, or my feet aren't so bad. It's just every night. Or my vision is only really blurry when my numbers start to go above 300, right? Or the brain fog is not that bad. I just have to start making more lists for myself, right? We start to normalize the chronic pain that we're in. And why do we do that? Why do we do that? Because the ego, right, is trying to keep us safe. Because if you were so emotionally raw and connected to the severity of the situation that you're in right now with your health, you would be in such a chronic place of fear and stress that it would immobilize you, right? So we start to justify, we start to rationalize, and we start to smooth it over, right? Maybe there's a certain amount of deniability. This can't be happening to me. I don't eat that bad. I move pretty well. I take the supplements. I've done my research. I drink a lot of water, right? And we start to normalize, and there's a certain amount of deniability because in this present moment, the pain is not so acute. We're not in the hospital, on being monitored. We didn't just have a heart event. You're not going in for dialysis. And even then, I see people normalizing that. The pain you're in right now, you've smoothed it over to protect yourself. So, having that lack of clarity on really giving yourself the gift of, hey, wow, let's look at this. And that's what I want to invite you to do first and foremost. If you're finding yourself in the trap of I'll do better tomorrow, it's because, and I say this with all the love in my heart, but I've been doing this a really long time. It's because you are lying to yourself about how bad you're out of control with your health. That's it. And we need to get clarity. So, what I want to invite you to do right now, or if you're tuning in later, is get out a pen and a paper and just take a few minutes and take a look at, wow, what am I not going to tolerate anymore for my health? I am not going to tolerate one more morning waking up with my numbers so sky high that I can barely get it together to get out the door for work. I am not going to tolerate my kids watching me struggle this way and going from diet to diet and yet not getting it under control. I am not going to tolerate my children following in my footsteps to be obese and have type 2 and be on insulin at 12, 15, 20 years old. I am absolutely no longer going to tolerate one more day of pulling away and recoiling from my partner, from being intimate with them, because I feel so bad and so physically bad and so ashamed about how I look that I don't want to even be with them. I don't want to go one more day arguing with my partner or picking fights because my mood is so up and down because of my blood sugar fluctuations. I don't want to go one more day snapping at my coworkers or snapping at my customers and clients. I will absolutely not tolerate for one more minute coming home from work and crashing on the couch and tuning out into the TV and numbing out with food because it is so depressing. I'm canceling on my friends the last minute. I'm hiding away from all of the things that used to be so important to me. And make an accounting. And listen, you guys, this might be painful. And in a way, that's the point. You need to bring the pain to the surface. You need to look, it needs to be acute. Because if you're not willing to get real about how unhappy you are in your situation, then you're not going to have that drive to push you forward, right? Because fear is what you make of it, right? You could either be afraid of looking at the truth and keep getting worse every day, right? Put your head in the sand until you slowly end up dying while you're still alive, losing 8, 10 years on your life from diabetes. Or you can get really clear, get the clarity about, wow, what is this really costing me right now? Mentally, emotionally, physically. What is it costing me in opportunities? What is it costing me for my future? What is it costing my family? And you can use that fear and that realization to propel you forward. Forward. You could use that fear as a call to courage, as a call to greatness, and step into your power to conquer it, right? So you can move forward and feel confident and wow, I finally got this under control. So you can be this beacon of hope for your community. So you can be and this incredible inspiring partner in your family. But we got to get really clear and you got to pull your head out of the sand. All right. So that's the first list I want to invite you to make about getting clarity. Now, the second thing that we really want to get clarity about in order to get out of the I'll do better tomorrow trap is what is it that you want? All right. So now we have a list of what we don't want, what it's costing us, how it's affecting us. We're getting serious. We're getting real with ourselves. We're not lying to ourselves anymore. Now, I want us to start making a list and get clarity around what your goals are. Okay. So the first thing to think about is what is one thing that you really want for your health, for your happiness? Whether that's to lose 40 pounds and keep it off finally, whether it's to finally have freedom around food so you can sit at the table with your family and enjoy a meal without feeling like you're the one counting calories or eating the diabetic meal. Whether it is to finally get off the medication so you're no longer tethered to that meter and pricking yourself 4 times a day. Whether it is to having the freedom of knowing that when you go out and enjoy the day, you're going to have the energy and you're going to be in a pain-free body so you can keep up with your friends and keep up with your grandkids and really enjoy the most of it. We're going into the holidays. What is it you want? Right? Do you want to be the grandma on the couch who can't play with the kids? No, of course not. Do you want to be the granddad that has to go take a nap because your sugar keeps dropping so low that you don't have the energy? Of course not. Do you want to be the friend or the loved one at your church or at your office party, trying to hide from photos, feeling uncomfortable because you're the biggest person there and having to slink off into the bathroom to go take insulin while everybody else is enjoying themselves and you're sitting in shame? No. But what is it that you do want, right? So get really clear on that. What is one thing that I really want? And I want you to use specific language. So I don't want you to say, like, oh, I want to just lose weight. I want you to get really specific. I want to lose 40 pounds, right? We talk about SMART goals a lot: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your bigger picture goal, and time bound. And some of those elements of that aren't as important right here. But really, what we want is a specific, measurable, time bound goal. I want to lose 40 pounds by February 15th at my doctor's appointment and know that when I go in there, I've dropped my A1C by 3 points. That's an example of a really specific goal. So, what's your goal? Go ahead and share it in the comments here. You know, I want to have all of my morning reads consistently below 100 by January 1st and release 20 pounds and keep it off. I want to, another great idea of a goal is I want to be able to wake up in the morning feeling really vibrant and well slept and energized and be able to tackle the whole day without having to take a nap. What an amazing goal. And I want to feel that way in time for the winter holidays. So get really clear. Oftentimes, when I hear people define a goal, it's like, I just don't want to be stressed about this anymore, or I just want to get my health back, or I just want to get off the meds. We need specificity. That's, again, what I'm saying right here. My point to you is we need clarity. You need clarity about what you don't want specifically and looking at all those things, but you also need clarity about specifically where we're going. Right? And I often say this to clients. It's like, if we're running a race and I just said, okay, the finish line is out west, how in the hell are we going to get there? Right? There's so many different routes that we could take. We could waste so much time going in circles or going the long way. Now, if I say we're running a race and it ends in Carlsbad on Main Street in California, now we know exactly where we're going, right? So we're going to be able to create a strategy and a plan to get there as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, as painlessly as possible, as efficiently as possible, right? Then we're going to be able to take inspired action. So my point to you is make sure your goal is really specific. And that is one of the ways that you'll be able to get out of the I'll do better tomorrow trap, because now you have a time bound specific goal, right? And it's going to really juice you up and excite you. Because what happens when we set goals like that? For all of my fellow list makers out there, how good does it feel at the end of the day when you get to cross that big juicy to-do list off, right? Because you're getting all of those feel good neurotransmitters, excuse me, my throat's so sore, right? You get that little dopamine hit. The same thing happens when we create a time-bound goal, right? And then we celebrate. This is the next thing. This is the second part. So the first thing, getting real clarity around where I am, why it's terrible to be here, all of the things that I don't want to look at day in and day out. And then The next part of that clarity is exactly pinpointing where I want to go, right? And now the second part is learning to celebrate the progress along the way. That is what's going to help keep you on track and keep you excited and motivated. All too often, we only celebrate when we get to Carlsbad, California at the end of that long journey, right? But we don't celebrate every single step of progress along the way. And we're really missing an opportunity there because every time we celebrate, we're conditioning these new habits that we're making, right? We're conditioning how good it feels to do these habits, how good it is to be on this journey, how good it is to prioritize ourselves in this way. Every time we check the box of what we've won today, we get that dopamine hit and it makes our brain propel us forward with doing that more often. We've got to condition that, you guys, just like you build muscle at the gym. You wouldn't just go once, right? You got to go all the time. And that brings me to the third thing is when you're creating an action plan, it is more important that you create small steps that you can do consistently every day than just saying, tomorrow I am going to throw out everything with sugar in my house and I'm going to go for a walk for an hour and I'm going to go and be in bed by 9 o'clock and I'm going to just sleep 9 hours straight, right? That doesn't work. What we need to do is break it down into baby steps. Right? Because when we break it down into baby steps, and what I like to do with my clients is we look at exactly where they are, exactly where they want to go. And then I help them create a strategy that is so doable, so sustainable, so simple, so easy to fit into their day to day lives that each new habit they're creating is something that even on the worst day, even on the most stressful day, they can still complete that habit. And with consistency, they build that muscle and it becomes effortless. It just becomes part of who they are and what they do. And that is how we get out of the I'll do better tomorrow trap. Those three things, right? Getting clarity, where we are, where we're going, celebrating ourselves along the way instead of berating ourselves for all the ways that we feel we've fallen short. Look for the evidence of your greatness. And third is to be able to create action steps from point A to point B that are so simple that you can do them every day with consistency. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Taylor, that sounds hard. And you know what? It is hard without having somebody in your corner because what happens? We get so stuck inside of our own jar that we can't read the label. Right. And that's where an expert coach comes into play. And what I'm able to help my clients with is hey, look at how interesting these patterns that you have. How interesting. Right. And lovingly be able to show them the patterns that they're stuck in and helping them figure out how to break that pattern, how to code a new program into their brain, how to create an action plan that is evidence based and tailored specifically to their goals. Because when you have that type of specificity with an action plan and you have an expert to tell you exactly what to do and when to do it, and somebody cheering you on and holding you accountable day in and day out until you get there, that is the difference between having a transformation and just waiting for tomorrow. So if that sounds like you, if you are done, if you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you don't want to go one more day without a proven plan, without an expert to help you, if you are ready to show up coachable, if you are at a place where you've done your clarity work and you realize, you know what I've been doing isn't working. And I'm ready to be coachable to a new approach that's going to get me where I want to go. If you are resourceful, if you are the type of individual who sees a challenge and is ready to rise above it, with my support, of course, if you are somebody who understands that there's never going to be a perfect time in life, that you have to create the perfect time, and you have to look at those challenges as opportunities to rise and grow, then I invite you to book a call with me. We'll spend about 45 minutes to an hour together. We'll get that clarity that you need to understand where you are, what the root causes are that are keeping you there, the root causes that are affecting your diabetic health, that are affecting that weight gain, that are affecting that fatigue, that are affecting that brain fog. And then we'll take a look at where you want to go. We'll get really clear. And then once we have that specificity, I'll be able to help you craft your specific action plan. So you don't have to keep saying, tomorrow I'll do better. You will actually pull yourself up by the bootstraps and be able to do better. And I'll be there to cheer you on every step of the way. So if that sounds like something that you're ready for, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to book a call right here, www.greenrootstransformation.com/apply. These calls are completely complimentary. I love to be able to serve, to help. So you can go to my calendar. When you click on that, just choose a day that's going to work best for you. And then once you do that, it's going to bring you to a brief questionnaire, an application form. And it's just going to ask you a little bit about what we talked about today. Where are you? Where are you feeling stuck? How long have you been struggling? What are some of the things you've been trying? Where is it you want to go? What do you feel like is holding you back? Just going to give me a little bit more clarity. That way, when we get on the phone together, we're going to be able to really hit the ground running and get you into action. All right. Well, it's been such a pleasure to be here with you all today. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll come back. Always happy to support you. It is my honor to get to share with you and support you and encourage you because listen, it is possible for you. I work with some of the most inspiring people. And every day, my clients are saying, wow, I am so glad that I did this. This was the best investment I've made in my time, in my energy. Their numbers are coming down in a matter of weeks back down into a non-diabetic range. They are getting off their Lantus, their metformin, the Ozempic. They're getting off all of it. They are losing 20, 30, 50, 80, 100 plus pounds. They're getting their energy back. They're getting back to the golf course. They're playing with their grandkids. They are the life of the party. They are going out buying all brand new clothes this holiday season, and they've never felt better than ever. And that is available to you too. You just need to get out of your own way and use whatever fear that you might be feeling right now. Use that fear to propel you forward instead of using it to keep your head stuck in the sand. You can do this. I know that you can. And I'm here when you're ready to make it happen. All right. Have a great day. Have a beautiful weekend. And I will see you next time.